Good afternoon, guys. My name is Bamishele Samson. I'm still the head tutor for this CSE 206 Human Computer Interaction. So we have done Unit 1 and Unit 2. So now we are moving into basic component of human computer interaction, which is the Unit 3 of Section 1. So in this section, we are going to cover command line interface, menus, natural language, query interface, form field, and spreadsheet. We are going to also talk about three-dimensional interface, social and organizational. The computer interaction still remain the same thing, and the core objectives still remain the same thing. But the learning outcome is quite different. So at the end of this particular class, we expect the student to have at least have an understanding of interaction models of interface between the user and system. And the student should be able to describe the cycle of execution and evaluation loop. And at the same time, the student should be able to explain the concept of ergonomy. Then, and at the same time, they should be able to know the common interaction style and also have an understanding of the context of social, organizational, and motivational aspect of interaction. So these are all the items that we expect students to at least be able to capture at the end of this lesson. So, introduction. So now, basic component of human-computer interaction. The components of human-computer interaction comprises the interaction models that concern translation between the user and the computing system. Ergonomic that describe the physical characteristic of that interaction. The interaction style that express the nature of users and system, dialogue, and finally the context of the social, organizational, and the motivational aspect of that interaction. This particular unit will be briefly describe each of these components with a desire of giving an overview of the general requirement for the design of human-computer interaction system. Okay, good. This is where we are. So the next slide, then the interactional models, Donoma model. These are in 7 stages. Now we are examining Donoma now. Donoma models has 7 stages, which you as a student need to familiarize yourself with that 7 stages. Number 1 says, the user establishes the goal. It is the user who knows what he actually wants to achieve. While the user formulates the intention, the user specifies action at interface. Then the user executes the action. The user perceives the system state. The user also interprets the system state. The user evaluates the system state with respect to what? To goal. The execution and evaluation loop takes place. So look at the small diagram, small figure, the image that is here. The interaction, look at it, goal, evaluation, system, then execution. Go to execution, come back to the system, then go to evaluation, then return back to the goal. So interaction goal The interpretation of goals, the user establishes the goals. Execution, the user formulates the intention. The user specifies action at the interface. Then the user executes the action. Those are we are breaking it down, the sevens, we are breaking the seven down. The goal took one of the definition from normal model, while the execution takes three. Then evaluation also takes three. At the evaluation stage, the user perceives the system state, the user interprets the system state, then the user evaluates the system state with respect to what? Goal. So, normal model can be also applied through gulf of execution that evaluates the user formulation of action, where action are what? Are allowed by the system. Gulf of evaluation where the user's expectation of change system state represent actual presentation of that state. So interaction could what? Harbor some human errors which may be slip and mistakes. Slip may be included lack of understanding the system and the goal, incorrect formulation of the actions, yes, incorrect action and mistake of not even having the right goal. That is, if you have a wrong goal, definitely you will not be able to achieve the result that you are willing to at least achieve. And now, to fix these slips, better interface design should be carried out. Why? To avoid mistake. One should better understand the system. That is, you must first of all understand the system the system or the domain where you want to carry out that interactions. Because failure to understand that aspect, you cannot come out with desired goals. Even you cannot implement your goals. You run to achieve more mistakes if you don't understand the system. To avoid some of the human errors, about and bail framework is adopted. That is, once they discover that human make more errors, in order to now achieve and reduce human error, about and bail framework is adopted. To avoid some of the human error, about and bail framework is adopted. About and frameworks is an extension of normal model, and it has four parts, namely the user, the input, the system, and the output, while each framework has its own unique language. If interaction is the translation between languages, if there are problems in interaction, then definitely there will be a problem in translation. If your interaction is wrong, translation will also be wrong. Then using the Bailey and Abbott model, the user intention could be translated into actions at the interface, translated into alteration of the states, reflected in the output display system, or interpreted by the user himself. The general framework for this understanding interaction are that interaction is not restricted to electronic computer system only. All major components involved in the interaction should be what? Identified. The comparative assessment of the systems should be allowed. Then the framework also consider an abstractions. So that takes us to the economic. This consider both the physical aspect of interface and industrial interface, Ergonomic is the study of physical characters of interactions. It is well known as human factors. Ergonomic is good at defining standards and guidelines for constraining the way we design certain aspects of the system. It is responsible for standards and guidelines that will constrain the designer or the programmer to keep to a certain aspect of the system. He forces the rules. That's the work of ergonomic there. Example of ergonomic includes arrangement of controls and displays such as the control group according to the function, frequency and sequence of use. 2. Surrounding environment such as the seating arrangements, adaptable to cope with all sizes of users, healthy uses, healthy issues such as the physical position, environmental condition, temperature, humidity, lighting, and noise. Use of color such as the use of red for warning, green for okay, and awareness of color blindness, etc. The user interacts with the real world through interface issues, feedback, and delay. Common interaction styles. The two major classes of interaction style will be considered, which they are dialogue style of interaction between computer and users, distinct style of interaction. Both are expressed in the following common form of interface: command line interface, menu, natural language, question and answer and query dialogue, form fill and spreadsheet, window interface, then point and click, then three-dimensional interface. So let's take command line interface. Menu is a set of options displayed on the screen. The menu options are visible. It has a less recall characteristic that make it easier to use. The visible options rely on recognition, so the name should be meaningful. The selection is done through numbers, letter, arrow, keys, mouse, and or combination of any of them. E.g. mouse plus accelerator often got the options are hierarchical group. Form field are primarily designed for data entry or data retrieval. It is screen-like paper form to which data is put in relevant place. It requires a good design and what? Obvious correction facilities. All of you have designed form now. You see the way form is. You have filled form. You have, even if you have not filled form, you have used several form paper-like at different fora, and those things is not new to you. That's what this particular episode is trying to explain to us. So if you go to the next slide, you will see the no, sorry. Look at the form. You can see something like this. You people have at least programmed in this kind of environment. So this is the form like. You can see it starts from destination, then blah blah blah. So that's a simple design of a form. So spreadsheets are sophisticated variation of form field. And with grid of, all of us, we have seen Excel before now. Excel is spreadsheet. So the user can enter other, Excel is in column and what? Row and columns. And with different code, you can actually perform different functions there. So the formula can involve value of other cells, sum, all of cells, all those things. So then we have this interface comprises windows, icons, menu, pointer, windows, icon, mice, pull down, all those things. If you look at your taskbar here now, you can easily bring down all those interface menu. Pointer are important of whip style component that point on and select. So these are the example of pointer. See the arrow. When you do up them, you have your plus, left and right. So that's type of pointer. There's a point and click interface. Point and click interface are used mostly in multimedia, web browser, hypertext. You just click something such as icon, text link, or location or map. It requires minimum of what? Typing. Then scroll bar. It allows user to move content of the window up and down from side to side. Then we have title bar. Title bar describes the name of the window. Then button. All these things, you can easily read them, then you understand them. This is an individual or isolated region within a display that can be selected to invoke an action. The special kind that exists are what? The radio buttons with a set of mutually exclusive choice, and the checkbox with a set of what? Non-exclusive choice. Look at it. There are buttons. Look at. They just give you an example of it. Then we have toolbar. These are long lines of icons with fast access to common action and often customizable. You can choose which toolbar to see. Choose what options are on it. Then we have dialog box or dialog boxes. These are information windows that pop up to inform an important event. As I'm here now, some dialog box is pumping from WhatsApp, showing me that I have a message. So, are you with me? So, there are some things that you will click, dialog box will pop up that maybe you are clicking the wrong thing, you are wasting your time, or there is a requirement that you need to supply. So, for example, when saving a file, a dialog box display to allow the user to specify the file name and location. The box disappear.
So money you need to copy and money go clear.
So other types of interaction styles are speech-driven interface. The development of this kind of interface is yet to be perfect and accurate, though it is rapidly improving. Examples of speech-driven interface dialogue on an airline reservations. Reliable, yes and no. Plus, system reflects back its understanding. Then you want a ticket from New York to Boston. So the three-dimensional interface, these are virtual reality, ordinary window system highlighting visual avoidance. The indiscriminate use can, and however, be confused There are also three-dimensional workplace used for extra virtual space with light and occlusion that give deep distance effects. For typical computer display, three-dimensional images are what projected on them in 2 dimensions. Then three-dimensional graphics are currently mostly used in computer games, art, and computer-aided design. So if you look at it, a three-dimensional computing environment could be used for collaborative work. For example, scientists could study three-dimensional model of molecule in a virtual reality environment. Or engineers could work on assembling a three-dimensional model of airplane. Then, interface for the X Windows system have also implemented advanced three-dimensional use interface through composition of window manager, such as buried copies using the AIGLX or SGLX architecture, allowing for the usage of OpenGL to animate the user and interaction with desktop. So another branch in the three-dimensional desktop environment is the three-dimensional GUIS. Then we also have the zooming user interface. Then the context, social and organizational. This issue and concerns involve all possible interaction between a user and a system during its life cycle, including the development stage, use in context, and the impact of such use on individuals, organization, society, and future system development. Context analysis. This one also include understanding of the technical, environmental, and social setting where the information system will be used. It's an idea for you to at least understand the environment, whereby not only the environment, the social setting, and the type of information that is going to be used. So, physical context. This also consider where the tasks carried out, what entity and resources are implicated in that task operations. Then, thus, legibility of the screen, the use of audible devices for input and output, or even the size of the working space to prevent people nearly to see the screen could be designed differently. Then, technical context. This also considers the technology infrastructure, platform, hardware, and system software, wired or wireless network connection. For example, an e-commerce website may be designed to allow access only to the people within the certain browser version. The website may also be designed to allow small screen devices such as PDA or mobile phone to access. Then we have the organizational context. May play different role in internal and external situations. For an organizational information system to be used by the organization own employees. Organizational context analysis answer questions such as what is the larger system where this information system is embedded? What are the interactions with other entities in the organization? Then what are the organizational policies or practice that may affect individual attitude and behavior towards using system? For example, assuming that Lotus Notes is used by an organization as communication and collaboration tool, management may depend on using the tools to set up meetings by decking employees' calendar or mutual availability time and slots. social and cultural context. What are the social and cultural factors that may affect user attitude, eventually use of the information system? In an e-commerce website example, the website can be accessed from all over the world. It thus is a design consideration that the website allow access by people with any language and culture. Background that can provide credit card with a foreign currency exchange, or is only accessible to people who speak certain languages and are from certain culture. Interactions are also affected by other social and organizational contexts as follows. By other people, through motivation for management as against fear, allegiance, ambitions, self-satisfaction that exist among the employees. 3. Existing inadequate system that may cause frustration and lack of motivations. So the organizational, social and cultural context in which human interact with IT is largely the result of the broad adoption of information technology by organizations and society to support organizational function and goal and to enhance society development. For example, organizational efficiency may be expected due to redesign of workflow among critical business units that is affected by the implemented IT. Satisfaction and retention of the customer's clients are anticipated due to the accurate and fast information gathering and presentation, to name a few. Some of these organizations' societal impact may not be tangible or directly attributed to ACL consideration. This assertion is in line with the issue of determination value in organization and society. While each of these ACL concerns may have its own importance in different situations, in relation to human motivation, it will be helpful for designers to see an overview picture and the potential of human-computer interaction, concern, and goals. So in conclusion, the knowledge of this basic component of human-computer interaction aids in giving direction, focus, and human consideration pertaining to interactive design. Then in summary, there are 3 variations of interaction model of the interface established between the user and the computer system. These models are presented as a loop in the execution and evaluation of an interactive design. These interaction models, together with the human ergonomic, the interactional style, and the social and organizational context, are basic components of human-computer interactions. So you need to listen to this so that you'll be able to at least answer some of the practical questions under it. Thank you. We have come to the end of the lesson today. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next class.